I haven't known how to keep mine clean. Yeah.
I told you. I know I did.
Yeah.
I'm a proverbial, there's an expression they call it a broken record. Keep skipping. That's me. So there's this little weight that slips onto the back of the arm to counterweight the weight of the cartridge. And then we back this up until this floats exactly freely.
I was working at the Danbury Fair Mall, and one day they came in and they said, we're switching over to this new format called compact disc. This is in 1988. So the statute of limitations is probably up on this one, but they said, box up all the vinyl and send it back to the warehouse. Well, I was in charge of the inventory scanner, so I just put zeros for everything and I took them all to my apartment. Like multiple boxes of sealed records. Because I felt so emotional about them leaving. Like I had a connection to them as an object. Like a almost like sympathetic thing. Like where I was like, no, they can't go to a cold, dark warehouse where they'll be melted down. They have to be liberated. So I took them all.
There's also another little weight. This just gets put in place and it gets left there, but it can be knocked loose because there isn't something like fastening it in place. You slip that bow onto this little stem here. And then you just drape it through this little hook here. And now this weight is dangling there. It very gently pulls on the arm in the opposite direction that the arm travels.
Music kind of makes the brain light up. So if you were to scan a brain while music is playing and someone is enjoying it, it wouldn't be just the music section that's lit up. The whole brain lights up. And I think that's the physical manifestation that's occurring inside me when I say music does something to me that nothing else does.
It's actually pulling a little bit too hard for the travel of the arm going in. So this is very gently counterbalancing that.
Got it.
Just enough so that to ensure that the stylus is standing exactly perpendicular to the groove instead of it being tipped over.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why that's there. When you get home, that will not be in place. I swear this place is haunted.
Burt was introduced to me as a samurai of sound, and I think that's true. The word passion comes from the word suffering, and this is someone who is clearly passionate about getting the ideal sound. And I appreciate his personality, which can be a bit prickly at first.
Now, am I going to be, like, if it does get out of balance and I don't have this fancy machine and I don't have...
Well, you didn't really need to.
Yeah.
Did you follow what I did? Oh, that's right. I don't even know if I have a record. Clean them all out of here.
Even just to buy equipment, there's no more like back in the day, there was home stereo stores. You could walk in and just pick and buy what you want. And now everything, like I said, it's either Amazon or, Best Buy has a little bit. And there was one guy in Kingston, Burt's Electronics. The guy was a whiz. And I want to say a little over a year ago, he had a fire in his place and he closed up.
Smells good back here.
Yeah, right? Okay. This room wasn't part of the store. The fire started right there. The state of New York and the city of Kingston came in here and just wiped the whole building.
The system has utterly failed him. He had insurance needed an inspection. The inspection was like, oh, you have asbestos, you need to take out all the walls.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, you need a sprinkler system before you reopen. It's $1 million.
There was 2 apartments up there.
Uh-huh.
They gutted those too. They were totally untouched. But there's nothing I can do to stop them. All this stuff, if you talk to most people in the business, it's not worth fixing, just dump it. But I can't do that. It's been an easy ride all these years.
Why do you hold on to it?
It breaks my heart to put it in the landfill.
It kind of had this living room feel to it. Always had comfortable chairs. And then he had his let's make love to the music chair. I remember how tragic it was. I think it was January that there was the fire, posted the world is different, that your store isn't open, thinking the world is right and righteous, so therefore it's going to open back up.
Made of flimsy plastic. What happens to this when the record's playing?
Vibrates, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like picking up a camera that doesn't have image stabilization and shaking it. There's that. And then this is a turntable that has something else that went wrong with a lot of turntables. It's automatic. It's mechanized.
Oh,
at
so
the end of the record, the arm just lifts up magically by itself.
That's when my first
people
one did.
freak out. Oh my God, it saved me all that work. People love to be lazy, and they will go to an incredible amount of trouble to be lazy. They will expend amazing amounts of effort to be lazy. What is the advantage of having an automatic turntable?
You don't have to just...
When you play a record, you're sitting there listening to it. It's not like you put it on your phone. You don't sit down and listen to your phone. Nobody does that.
Yeah.
Because it's not worth sitting and listening to, and your subconscious knows that, so you just walk away from it. People got into records because it turned into a whole novel experience, a beginning, middle, and an end kind of a thing. At the end of the record, you had to participate. You had to go and flip it over, hopefully brush a little dust off so you don't have background noise. You have to do all that stuff to do.
What if Burt's Electronics became a little, a desk inside of a bigger shop, part of another record store or something?
No. See, you're all caught up and centered on this fixing old stuff thing.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge proponent of that. It's worth fixing.
Right.
When you understand the limitations.
I asked him once about repairing some equipment. I have some turntables. Will you repair them? And he'll come out and say, well, only if it's worthy of repair. So he's very selective in what he fixes. I mean, kind of like the story you were telling about your Crosley turntable. He said that's not a turntable, and that's how he feels.
So in addition to the turntable, I'm going to need an amplifier.
The sound needs to come out of some speakers to get to your ears.
Right.
The sound coming out of a turntable is very, very tiny.
Yeah.
And it needs to be made bigger so that the speakers can...
Exactly. So, I've got my Bose speaker. Got one little. So I feel like...
I bet you're loving that. There's a running joke in this business because Bose is not a company to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
And they mislead their customers. They do all the stuff that I am fervently against.
Yeah.
I just love talking to Burt. He does get into politics sometimes and the way the world runs.
We're all trained to throw away what we're buying now. Companies love it. Those corporations just love us.
He would always call the mall area, because he felt like it was this disease that was kind of taking over things, where people are just buying cheap crap and they didn't really care, and they didn't really care what it sounded like. They were just buying it to have it and then replace it a year later. And he wanted to sell quality things, and he wanted to fix them if they were broken, and just it's honorable. He's trying to help us from declining into the apocalypse.
I went to this concert last night. I listened to it on the way home through my rather good car stereo that I guess must have gotten here. That guy that was making noise behind me, 10 rows back and hoo-hooing, and 10 rows back and to my right. Well, the speakers are aimed at me like this, but it sounds like he's back there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, so were you recording the concert that you were...
I've recorded almost every concert I've ever been to.
Whoa.
And I used to go to 3, 4, 5 a night on a weekend. I used to.
I can't tell you how many times I've said, you should go to Burt's. Just bring your thing down to Burt's. He'll fix it, thinking that you'll be there forever.
I don't remember exactly when I met him. It was probably in the mid-90s, and it was definitely when I needed a new car stereo. He was more than helpful. He was unusually helpful. And I send everyone to him who comes in here, which are quite a few people. usually with the caveat of be patient because Burt will talk your head off.
And then you have this little stylus on the end, a needle on the end, which is actually a diamond. It's fragile. The diamond itself is hard, but what holds the diamond in place is a hollow, thin piece of metal, usually a mixture of different metals. And just like over here with the little speaker, the vibration comes up through the diamond, down the little shaft that holds the diamond, and then into a cartridge, which is a little housing with a network of magnets and wires wrapped around them.
Yeah.
And they work like your ear does. They hear the sound on the record. That sound hasn't been turned into something else.
Right.
Information. It's still sound. That's why if you cue up a record on a turntable and the turntable's not even plugged into an amp, if you put your ear down right near it, you can hear the sound playing.
Because it's still...
Even though it's not connected
Right.
to anything. Like this, but more sophisticated. Yep.
That makes sense. Because it does kind of seem like magic otherwise. If you don't...
Well, it is. If trusting your senses and all that is actually a worthy thing. Your senses deserve to be honored. This is a good way of doing it. Been doing it a while myself.
Yeah.
I unhooked the boxes, cassettes.